All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And as we have been telling you, okay, Apostle Paul ministry wasn't to the Gentiles. All right, now who was the Gentiles that he was speaking of? The Israelite foreigners, okay, the Israelites that have been in the Gentile state of mind. All right. Hence, this is why, they are often being referred to as the Greeks, as the Grecians. Okay. Because during those captivities, especially the Greek captivity, they have, resulted in a way of following the Greekish fashions. Okay. The Greekish customs. All right. Now, as we say, as the scriptures say, Paul is writing these letters to the churches, right? To these Israelites in all these different lands where they are dwelling. Okay. And as we know, they know. And who are they? The biblical scholars that admit that Apostle Paul is preached only to the Israelites. And might I add, before I play this quick clip, which is an audio, Apostle Paul was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin and was a man of color. All right, this image that you see on the screen that is portrayed all around the world is just another one of their false images, as they have done into the Heavenly Father, the Yahushai, the world he calls Jesus Christ, the rest of the disciples, okay, the men of the Lord of the Bible, all right, the prophets, and many more, all right, and many more, okay? But without further ado, let's get into this audio. Because like I said before, as we know, they know.
And of course, we're talking about the Israelite kings of the houses of Judah, Zerah and Phares.
Well, absolutely. We're talking about the dispersion of Israel.
Right.
And
right.
Paul knew that the nations that he went to were all dispersed Israelites.
Yes.
And his letters prove it over again and again.
Yes. So that the universalists who want to interpret this phrase the way it has been translated, and you could say it like this: to bear my name before the nations, which Gentiles they assume means non-Israelites.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And kings, which is another separate group, whoever they might be, and the children of Israel, as if the first two were different from the latter.
Right, but the grammatical construction is called a hendiatrisin, and it means one by means of three. It means that all three of these entities being mentioned are actually the same. The nations and the kings of the sons of Israel is the literal reading.
Yes. Okay, very good. Well, let me finish with verse 16. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. So for the Paul bashers, these two verses, 15 and 16, are very succinctly declaring that Paul is a chosen vessel.
Absolutely. The Paul bashers are doing us a great disservice.
Yes.
Because these verses not only do that, they prove that Christianity is for only the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right, because of the bad translation, the universalists have chosen to universalize it, and the Paul bashers
Because they are all Israelites, okay? To the Jew and to the Greek. Why? Because they are both Israelites. So every argument that you so-called Christians make, all the scriptures you want us to pull out that you have been led to understand, okay, these same scriptures that you all right? They're being explained. We explain it to you, but won't you take it from the scholar's point, okay? That all Paul's writings are to the Israelites, okay? Now he's mentioning the churches the letters that Paul was writing to. Let's play that back. Let's play that back again. If it's translated correctly, it is not universal. We told you. We told you. Okay? And now we're going to let them tell you. Since you don't want to hear from the men of the Lord, the servants, the prophets, the true scholars of the Bible. Right? Now, since I stopped on this right here, let's correct the name. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Okay, so it's supposed to be Yahweh's covenant people, which are the Israelites, not Yahweh. So I had to correct that. Boom. There you have it. I got a few scriptures. The book of Acts 9, verse 15. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. And this is where he came up with the word, or he used the word, not came up, hendiatrix. Okay? And from the beginning into the latter, as he said, these all mean the same people. The Gentiles, the kings, and the children of Israel, these are all Israelites. Okay, all of the same. And these Gentiles, as I said before, these are Israelite foreigners. Okay, these are Israelites, in a Gentile state of mind that was being called back in through faith, through the preaching of Apostle Paul, which it all started with the coming in of Peter dealing with who? Another Israelite by the name of Cornelius. All right. Romans 16 verse 4 says, let's start at verse, oh boy. Romans 16 verse 3, it says, Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers, and Mashiach Yahushai. Right? And these Priscilla and Aquila, these are Greek names. Okay, a lot of the people in the scriptures, like I said, we was into these, Greek lands and things like that. So we have a lot of the names of Greeks and Roman names, okay? By us taking on their customs, or, just having their names of us being under their land, you know? It says, like, verse 4 says, who have for my life laid down their own necks, and to whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles. You see? I'm just, hitting a few points, right? Because these are some of the scriptures you so-called Christians like to use, okay? Which you do not understand. All right, it's the book of Galatians 2, where 8 it says, For he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, this, the ones that was in the land, that was the Jews that was in the Holy Land, that was keeping the law. Okay, so they were the ones that were called circumcised, or the circumcision, and the ones that weren't were called who? The uncircumcision. Okay, for he that wrought effectually in Peter to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles, Israelites. Okay, Israelites. Let's see some of the main ones they call out. Can't find it. Let's just type it in. All right. They'll use this. They'll call this out a lot. Galatians 3 verse 28. It says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Mashiach Yahushai. Why? Because they are all Israelites. All right. Colossians 3 verse 11. Where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Mashiach is all and in all. Okay, now, did any of you pay attention that Paul is always speaking about Greeks? It's always going about Jew nor Greek, Greek nor Jew. You know what I'm saying? And to the Jew first, and then to the Greek. Why? Why does it always mention the Greeks? Well, if you understood history, right? We were under Greek captivity for a period of time before we entered into the Roman captivity. Okay? Yes. You had Israelites, that left off from their customs and went and started doing the customs of the Greeks. They came uncircumcised and all that. Hey, even Timothy's father. Timothy's father is an example of being a Greek. Okay? But was he Greek by blood? No. He was a Greek about the customs of the things that he was doing. But by blood, he was an Israelite, which would make who and also an Israelite? His son Timothy. You see? And it's always mentioning Greek. Why isn't it? It's never mentioning Arab. It's never mentioning Ham. You know what I mean? It's never or Elam or Moab. It doesn't say them. But it always goes into that Greek. You see? Because a lot of the Israelites were into the Greek fashions, into the Greek, worshiping the idols of the Greeks and things of that and so forth. Okay? But the point being made is that no matter what, as Galatians 3 and 28 says, hey, we are all one in Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Because what? They were all Israelites. And you heard it. You heard it. Shalom.